I don't know if we've casted any Pox games yet. I know
No,
we've done
not yet.
Ryooo.
And it's kind of a shame because Pox is definitely a very strong
Yes,
player. We
for
saw a
sure.
lot of him out from last year's Challenger. Did very well there.
Yep.
So finally getting him cast is definitely
Yep.
something that we.
All right, let's get to it. I got some picks and bans here. Let me just transition over. Oh yeah, and this is a bronze, I believe.
That is correct.
All right, let's get going. Picks and bans. Let's see what I got. The first ban belongs to Ryooo, and it is High Rise. Second, the first ban out of Pox is Ballroom. All right, I just played a whole bunch of that.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, the first pick is Gallery from Ryooo. That's interesting.
It's a good map.
It is a good map,
Yeah.
indeed.
It's actually one of the more popular venues that's been picked for
Yeah,
all of
I would agree.
SCL5 so far.
Especially for SCL5 compared to the other SCLs.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like Gallery's popularity has been growing over the years. And a map that needs no introduction, Courtyard.
Well, there's someone lost Courtyard Chicken.
Yeah, lost it early this time too. Anyway, the next pickup, we'll hopefully be getting to see some aquarium.
Yeah, someone would have to be doing some serious stomping to not see Aquarium at this point.
Yeah, it's very likely. But what's less likely is whether or not we'll see our last map, Balcony.
Huh.
I'm kind of
I know
hoping.
a few
I'm
people
kind of
who like
hoping we
Balcony.
will, but
I've
I'm not
generally,
sure.
personally, like, even when I've wanted to play Balcony, I've generally avoided being the last map because having your whole set is miserable.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, definitely. And if you, I think if you think you're at the disadvantage, perhaps Balcony can be definitely something like I think I can make it to the last venue, but I might be behind by then.
Yeah.
So I need to turn it around with a swingy venue. Balcony is one of the things that you can go for. But otherwise, it's kind of hard to have it as the last venue because you could easily turn it around there.
Yep. All right. Anyway, we can get into it now. Let's see. I'm seeing Ryooo as Papa Danger on Gallery.
That's what I'm seeing.
All right. Sounds good. Standing right in
Okay.
the doorway of doom.
What I will do then is count us down for week 11, SCL, Pogs versus Ryooo, bronze match, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Pop Danger going back towards the gallery instead of outside,
Yeah, that was completely AI control. So
and not immediately sidling up, but we're eyeing down this seductor target. We'll do the quick short path, look for the big 51 if we hit the green.
yeah, this really short path into conversation. I know you wouldn't like that, Pwned. Speaking as a behavioralist, I think it's just a very boring AI.
In this situation, typically the spy would have already just gone into the conversation. It's actually a kind of a circumstance here that Ryu had to do the short path, which isn't typically going to be the regular circumstance because he could have just sidled up immediately. We got the 51%. We need to keep moving because Gallery is a very large map.
Yeah,
It's
gallery is big and can be sometimes very hard to finish off certain missions that seem to be taken for granted on other venues. Like contacting the double agent is very fraught on gallery, and even the seduce getting that 51% is actually really big. If you can get a two flirt on gallery, you get opened up a lot more as far as your options go.
yeah. One of the other factors is because you can't just go to one stat sheet. You can on say library or ballroom. It means that you have to really be planning ahead. We've already cooked into 90 seconds. The BB will help here. It's a big green. There
Yeah,
will come
and
window.
it's actually quite a good contact for gallery, except for the fact that the SDA is not in conversation in the back. However, I've seen so much worse contacts on gallery, and getting that mission done right now is definitely very good here.
Here's how you get missions done. Fingerprintable statue. This will be no actual but it will give us half of our inspects plus half of our prints and a highlight.
Yeah, very very classic highlight for picking up statues. Lots of people do it. You'll not play Spy Party for very long without running into somebody who does.
Ugh. So we were we want to get close enough to do a two flirt, but Queen as the SDA goes and steals her spot.
This
We might
still might
still
be
be close
close
enough,
enough. Yeah.
and we might test it anyways.
Yeah,
So we're not gonna.
84% is not quite good enough. I mean, well, if it had been green test, that would have been good enough. 84%, only losing off 1% from that 34% instead of getting 33%, definitely would have been enough to finish off the flirt. I think it would have been like a 50% flirt.
If we're gonna be finishing the missions that we have on the table, be it inspects, prints, and seduce, I don't believe there's a statue, and so we're gonna need to move. The briefcase here is an option, and Rio agrees.
Yeah, we did pick up a drink, so it's kind of a little bit awkward trying to go to statues soon. And this is not exactly the most hidden finish. This is the kind of finish where you say, "Hey, I'm doing a bunch of soft tells. I dare you to shoot me," right? Because this is the kind of thing that AIs actually can complete. Unlike hard
Statistically,
tells.
though, if you see someone do two prints plus two statues, most of the time you will be good to go to shoot them, especially if the banana bread's been said like it has been. The
Yeah, I
beeping
agree.
stars are at 25. The flirt's off. We get one more mission. It could
We're
be
not gonna
the.
get to statues in time,
It,
so we need
it
to
could
do
be a hard
something
tell.
else.
We could pick
Could
up
be
a
a
statue,
purloin
but it
here.
would cause overtime. We're not moving immediately. We're in position for purloin. We're gulping the drink. No matter what we're doing, we need to do that anyways. We're requesting. This should be a late purloin. It's half take, so there's no reject chain. We got 4 seconds. It's gonna trigger overtime. It's not gonna trigger.
Are you behind,
Oh,
Todd?
am I behind?
Yeah, you're a teeny bit behind.
Well, we're taking our own drink.
Yeah, we took our own drink to make it look like it's a white purloin from whoever takes, and that works. That just works.
Yeah.
We get the clock hang despite the
Yeah,
despite
you would.
so we trigger the green purloin to get the clock hanging, and then we take our own drink to make it look like we could
Yeah,
not have green purloined,
that's a
and that
dangerous.
just works. Rio
That's a
goes
bit of a dangerous move though, because if the sniper is aware of one of the possible reasons the clock is hanging, being the green purloin, taking your own drink kind of, you know, and if kind of makes it obvious that it's you. If the sniper is.
Yeah, if Pox had been on that reject into that drink take, that's definitely a hard tell. Toby will not offer twice in succession to one person. That had to be a request.
Yep. Anyway, good thinking by Ryooo there. Looked like it was going to be close as usual on gallery. We'll see how Pox responds as
Yeah.
good old Taft.
Yeah, not choosing Taft as the ambassador, which is always interesting. And in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
The thing is about Taft is that as good
I'm gonna,
as
I'm
Taft
gonna,
is as
I'm
an
gonna interrupt
ambassador,
you. We can swap this. There's no
nah,
way you can see the
this
statue.
has been
There's
seen
no,
by
you
Rio.
have to, you have to swap this. He cannot see that statue from that angle.
No, looking from the sniper cam, Rio definitely knows what the statue is. If you swap here, you're dead.
Grrr. But we're so big.
Yeah, but Rio just really wanted to see that statue earlier, and made the angle happen to see it. Anyways, as I was saying, Taft, as an ambassador, definitely a very good ambassador, but when you pick Taft as the ambassador, you lose him out as a potential spy. And just like on Ambassador, where he can walk around really fast, do a lot of things, and put fingerprints down everywhere, as a potential spy, even if you're not playing him as an AI, he can get around pretty quick, get a lot of progress done, and on Gallery, that's pretty big, especially. Playing him, however, also gives you that speed bonus, so there's definitely a lot to be said for having Taft as a non-ambassador character.
Do a wide turnaround pearl. So while we've been discussing the merits of Taft, we got 33% flirt, we got statues, and we got a highlight. It's a pretty standard start if you're willing to do the early statue. And given that we're Taft, this could line up for inspect swap in a near the end of the game.
It was a little bit of an awkward path. I'm not sure how much it matters. A lot of people just don't really care about pathing all that much. Just a few snipers will actually peg you for that, but it's still something to be careful of depending on the opponent anyway.
Yeah, we're sidled up here to the double agent. We just need to be in the conversation. I do find that you end up standing next to the double agent, and it does mean that we're not flirting with anybody particularly close.
Well, we say that,
Hello.
but then our ST just kind of walks up right next to us. And this might be a good contact. Especially for gallery, if you can get that contact, you take it. This is not that awful. SDA is in the front conversation,
You're
so
very
we don't know
much
that fully.
yeah, you're very much signaling that the real banana bread would be the bad
Banana bread.
conversation, despite the fact that the SD is outside. Just with these full conversations, you never take this fake. I don't think.
What's interesting is that we do not purloin there, and it looked like we might have wanted to,
This is cute. If we're gonna,
because
yeah, we don't need to be this close, but we use the briefcase as a way to redirect back to our same conversation, and in fact, the same spot. It's one of those things where you see that as a sniper and you go, that was either really suspicious or really AI-like. I'm not
here
sure
comes a white
why I wanted to do
purloin.
that. Instead of doing inspect swap, because we do still have an inspect in
Oh,
pocket, we're
got some.
going with the white purloin and the safety's off. We're not dead,
Strictly speaking, no. But I
but
think that we are 1 foot in the grave right now,
yeah, and with
just
this
kind
much
of waiting
suspicion
to
and a
die.
lot of lowlights, Taft's questionable walking bug is going to be rough. I don't think we're going to be able to do inspects. That Ryu will have to prove me wrong.
Yeah, and we're not even going to be able to have time to get this statue inspect before overtime happens. So Ryo can just wait this out and know, hey, I've got overtime coming if I want it.
Yeah, laser lined up, and we
Pox,
have a lot of room to shoot because
yeah.
we are puffy with Taft here. Ryu all over it. Spy, honestly, but good sniper often beats good spy.
Yeah, and that means Rio goes up 2-0 in our first half of Gallery. Pox trying to bring it back here, perhaps. Both of these players top of bronze, so trying to jostle for those tournament of position spots. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, we just immediately take the low light and relight, which happens so often.
Yeah,
Okay,
it happens more often on AIs. We just notice it when it happens to the spy. So.
the the choice here not to purloin, I think, is interesting. I think doing a hardtail in the first 5 seconds has a lot of benefits in that it's memorizing statues, protecting the ambassador.
Well, we used to have cover here,
Gadget
but then
that
General walks away.
when you lose in the first 10 seconds, it's not a feel good, especially when you're already up 2-0.
Yeah. The early purloin can either just completely win you a game because you get the hard tell by and it's basically completely unseen, or you die because they saw exactly who rejected and exactly who took and are all over.
One of the other things to mention is we are twin, so doing something like the microfilm that we're doing, the other twin doesn't have a blue book or anything, but there can always be twin confusion. We're doing this pretty quickly. We took it out, read it at painting, and now I'm putting it back. If Fox is on this, this could be a quick game.
Yeah, but the thing is with microfilm is that it just doesn't happen very often, and so snipers tend to not ignore it, but they pay less attention. They are less involved in trying to remember exactly who was at which bookshelf, and if they've done animations, and I think Rio knows that. So we do, however, pick up a highlight.
Yeah, so Taft just threw away our little stop. So we stopped assuming that there was no space in that conversation, and then nothing changed, and then Taft did the same path and went inside the conversation. I think we might just be getting the highlight there for inspects, because we were getting close to going to the inspects. To note, we don't have any flirt progress, and there's a big reason for this. Our seduction target spent the beginning of the game going to 2 different statue pads. So our seduction target it has specs, so they are potentially more likely to get shot than anybody else in the party. But it's made it really hard for us to be able to flirt, and we're actually looking quite behind now with only 80 seconds left.
Yeah. We did pick up a fingerprint. However, you're right. There's just no other progress going on here, and I think Ryo just understands that he's not gonna have enough time. He can't get into that conversation to flirt right now, so he goes over and he adds time. It's a nice green test, so it's very hard for the sniper to immediately notice. And Pox was zoomed in. No real awareness of the fact that Ryo was at that window pad.
Yeah, I do believe the ambassador has been to at least one statue, and so half fingerprints are looking quite tasty. We're gonna take it. I believe this is the two. This will be two, potentially even three missions. We can even swap here if we wanted to.
Yeah, no, but
JK, we're not even gonna be able to finish these
Pox
checks, so we do get the
Pox
fingerprint
is not
credit.
having it. I think we were just credited with the flirt
Yeah,
and credited with the microfilm,
yeah. I think
and Pox is just all over.
that conversation stop is probably the thing like you got the most suspicion. It feels like that's when that highlight happened.
Yeah, and then
Like you
and
see,
then we did and then we did the
yeah,
inspect and the print. So we just did two uh
yeah. If Taft can fit
hard
in a
thumbnails.
conversation, Twin definitely could have.
Yeah. Okay. We got one more game of gallery, and we got Alice. These guys are choosing fairly fast characters, which I
Yeah,
appreciate.
Twin, Alice, Taft. What was the
Yeah, you
last? What
really
was
need
the
that
other
on
one?
Kane.
this venue.
Kane's
Kane. Yeah,
surprisingly
Kane's not
fast.
slow, but
Yeah,
Kane's
Kane.
not slow. Not one of the fastest characters, but definitely not slow.
Yeah, for having a Kane, he moves. It's dresses that get you when you're trying to move around a party. Apparently, Pox, Alice, 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That
Are we
was a
gonna do
quick three,
microphone
two, one
chase?
playing
Yeah, I'm sorry
it.
about
Might
that. What
we
about?
do take
There's
this
more
book?
people at books, by the way. Okay, we're going for the animation. We got a bit of cover. The only concern I have is that Toby was
Oh, we
being
pick up the
dressed.
highlight. I think
Yeah,
Ryo, our little head turn to the left was very visible on the sniper cam, and I think that's what Ryo has picked up on here. So it's going to be very difficult, I think. Just picking up that early highlight is really awful, especially if it's not like a rote highlight for statues. If it's a rote highlight for statues, usually you can think, okay, I know I'm highlight. But right now, Pox might not know he's highlight, and that's a really dangerous spot to be in.
yeah. So he didn't like highlight towards like the book, like, oh, I've decided to mark this book in particular. He marked his head, which does often make the highlight a bit more noticeable. Than like sneakily aiming at their ankle or something. The biggest problem is with the microfilm. If we are ever going to do the blue bookcase, it does not have much cover. It's the sort of thing where like taking it outside is going to take a lot of time, uh, or doing it at one of these like far paintings that nobody else is nearby.
Pretty
Um,
early time at and oh
oh
no,
goodness,
I
yeah.
think that was caught. Yeah, we've got a safety off on Pox right now, and Ryo is just not happy with him.
That
A
that
lot of
might
the time
that
you
might have been a speculative like bug path, or at least in Ryu's mind, uh, was a speculative bug path. Either that, or he's just absolutely tunneling. And to help on the tunnel, Hawks is gonna want to grab that blue book now that has the fingerprint and the potential into the microfilm, and he is being much too tunnel for that.
yeah, and it's just a really bad spot for Pox right now. Either Ryo saw this time ad or is very sure about something,
I
because
do
Pox
I
is
do like
looking
waiting
like the
for it to
biggest
be
suspect.
difficult. Um, Another small etiquette thing that we just run into the bookcase. We want to hit the green. We don't hit the green, and we are so tunneled. I suspect we might even be uh
Oh wow! Oh
green.
wow! That green microfilm. Toby was blocking the arm, and there's no head turn on that green microfilm. So even if we're being stared at, that's like ridiculously difficult to see. You need a different angle from Ryo there, and there wasn't one. And so Pox gets away with the second half of that microfilm completely clean.
Choosing not bug here. I don't think it's gonna shake too much suspicion. Is this the fingerprintable statue?
I don't believe so.
There's one around here, and I don't think it's this one.
Now, even though it was very important that we got that
This could
big
be.
green microfilm,
So
we
we're playing
still.
with yeah.
Oh
Okay.
wow, we just take the shot for that. I'm
I
not
think
actually
I, I
sure. I
think he
think
was I think he was 99%, and while Pac pretty cleanly, there were a few things there that you could pick up. I still not. I mean, if you're tunneling this hard, you should have a pretty good count. I would have waited for the BB, for example. But we don't need to wait around on this game.
yeah,
Yeah,
Ryo decides. Perhaps it might have been a slightly early shot on a tunnel, but could have been very very sure about it. And now we move on into courtyard.
Or I'm just watching some epic bouncing from mom in orange dress outside. They had like,
Teal.
oh, who's that? All right. Anyway, oops. Looks like nope. The scores are fine. 3-1 currently, I believe.
yep.
We'll
Ryu
see.
ahead.
Yep, and yep, I am good to go.
Okay, we got Ryu on pearls in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Welcome to courtyard.
And courtyard is courtyard. The courtyard games are all very similar. It's always the spy looking to find that hardtail and then just complete with statues, flirt, and contact. Um,
And as I will point out, uh, because of the four conversations and a lot of the conversations being quite big, because double agent and like assume reels are quite good when you have four conversations, and because inspects are very clear cut, there's no like memory, you just highlight. There are actually a lot of ways that you can start catching people for the soft tails. That being said, it often just comes down to can you catch the tell, the big tell,
yeah, the
the hard
hardtail,
tell
or
or finger.
or do they do all their fingerprints and such?
Sick innocent drink. Nope, JK, it has a fingerprint.
It's a
It's a green
difficult
fingerprint, and
fingerprint,
we
and we
hit
take
it.
it. Oh my goodness, that's huge. Drink fingerprints are difficult enough to track as the sniper as it is because Toby is moving around. You don't just get to say, hey, there's this left statue here if anyone goes to it, because Toby comes to them. In this case, it's a difficult fingerprint, and it is taken by Ryo, and that's so hard to credit as the sniper.
Okay, yet again, I think we actually can bug here potentially. We're very close.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness, that bug. It's the behind the back standing bug. No one expects it, and we look so far away from the ambassador, but we are close
we are
enough.
as max distance as you can get for sure.
Yeah, it is. We're just barely in range, and
Uh,
I think that we just pick up a second fingerprint, seduce, and contact, and we are a ghost this game.
yeah. So we have the option here. So now that we've gotten the flirt, we can either do a silent game or we can do a statueless game, and both are very good.
I think. I think.
Because double agent's being a jerk, continues just doing statues. I think this is a sensible choice.
Wait,
By
there's
the
a
way,
fingerprint on the statue. Or well, there was, and now
yeah,
it's
we
gone, and
smudge
we
it,
didn't pick it up.
but we still, as long as the double agent works with us, we're still in a very good position.
The
Or we can
problem
just
with
grab the
taking that
fingerprint.
statue is that now we look if we the effectiveness of our drink fingerprint is a little bit reduced by the fact that we've gone to a statue with a difficult fingerprint on it. If Pox wants to credit that, suddenly it looks a lot worse if we go and fingerprint. However, mm,
We can be patient here. So we have the fingerprint as option. We have
I'm
the
not
double
sure we
agent as
can be
option.
patient. We've got 20 seconds left on the clock. I think we just have to contact here. And unfortunately, we don't get to be that ghost I was speaking of. And even, we actually just might get
Wow!
shot. Yeah, holy moly.
Wow!
Pox is all
What
over it.
what what is he counting as his fourth mission? Because the bug was insane and he didn't make a reaction. The fingerprints were double hard fingerprint. I think this might have just been a bit of an instinctual. This timing adds
Yeah,
up with the
this
white.
timing and the fact that there are not many people who have a good real BB here. Um, I
I
just
feel like just from the knowledge that we have, like a green BB might have a different result here.
yeah, perhaps, that's kind of just a little bit of a heartbreaker for Rio there, because that game was looking to be absolutely beautiful, just completely under the radar game from Rio, and it just turns out that nope. You had to do something suboptimal right at the end because you could not find that second fingerprint, or like you had to go to statues and contact in a game where you could have done only one of those two.
Yeah, Ambassador never dropped their brief, which is what I was saying. When we can be patient, the 20 seconds made sense in this situation. We almost got two difficult prints for the win. Pox is going to be our spy now, and if he can spy as well as he can snipe, we might have a tie game here soon. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. I'm always impressed with Ryu's spy, by the way. I think it's
Yeah, that
genuinely
that
one of the
spy
best in the game.
game was very good, and I know the feeling of having a very good looking spy game at like halfway through, and then just everything falling apart due to sometimes it's a little bit of party luck. Sometimes you just don't make the right decision to follow up on your early game success, but it's just really unfortunate for Rio. But he needs to snipe here to keep his lead.
Pox choosing to request and then reject. I'm not sure what he was speculating there. We are in position here to lining up to be a pretty good BB.
Yeah, these early contacts. If you're paying attention to the party, later contacts are usually better because you can, for sure keep someone who has visited statues in. However, here comes the contact, and this is just really quite good.
One
There's
low light.
one
And
low light, one low light.
he is
Yeah, one low light.
4 low lights, which, to be fair, even if it wasn't a sim reel, 4 low lights is a pretty reasonable rate on Courtyard.
Yeah, I think the over under is like 3 to 4. 4 is a little bit too much if you're just having like, as far as hard low lights go. But with an assume reel in the mix, I think 4 is just fantastic.
I think you could even do another banana bread here, because everybody else is still in conversation. Make more noise. Uh, there isn't anybody who's not a low light outside of conversation at the moment.
Yeah, but this wouldn't give any new characters contact though. So
That's a bug. That's a shot. That's not a shot.
that's not a shot.
That's a
It's
safety
it's the it's the
off.
cane bug.
We're not in a good position, but these guys are showing some supreme patience. In the same gallery game where we saw these safety offs, and we do appreciate that as a caster because it signals to us high suspicion. He knows that he's not done. He hasn't been to
Yeah,
statues,
and
and the list is still. The statues are obviously not swapped, and he's just saying you have not done 2 fingerprints without me paying attention. That would be silly.
yeah. Really, what it is I think it is definitely a virtue to be patient as far as sniping goes. However, sometimes there is useless patience where they don't actually get anything else done, and you just shoot them anyways. But it, it's it's not automatic if you don't shoot immediately. The patience is good, but so far I think that Ryo is holding his shot correctly, and is going to wait for this statue visit. Is my guess.
Yeah. So if you're Pogs and you know it, this is where you purloin.
Yeah.
This is not what you
Pox
white
is in
purloin.
fact
White purloin is
purloining.
not a
You
particularly
can't
healthy
white
option.
purloin that. Yeah, and we get a shot for it. Ryo keeps the lead.
But he's
Um,
making the right decision. He got himself caught because the bug wasn't particularly. The sniper had a good angle on it, so shout out to Rio in that regard. But choosing not to inspect here when you've had the safety off on you is a lot of good laser play. Now you need to green the purloin, have a long chain, and still get lucky, but you're 100% dead if you went to statues.
yeah, and that very very good game sense out of Pox there. Unfortunately, it does not net him the win in this case. As we move into the second half of Courtyard with Rio on Oprah in
Yeah,
three, two, one, play.
you didn't say go, but I got it, so we're good. Ryu, I like red dress at this point. Oprah, people when they're watching streams like for the first time, they go with Rishi Jones. Uh, I don't really consider that famous, but she's got a dress. It's red. Okay, 42%. You don't see that very often.
I mean, not many people have the answer to the question of the meaning of life, you know. So
Okay. I keep on wanting to assume that these prints are, but they
these
never
drinks are
are.
Uno drinks.
And Ryu, with his second time in a row, difficult fingerprint early in the game, off a drink, and he hits it.
Yeah, that's
And
absolutely gross. And even if you know, and maybe this time Ryo can capitalize a little bit better off the fact that he's taken this fingerprint that is
here we go.
unseen, probably.
Ryu's got to be fist pumping
Ambassador
here.
looks like
Statues. And so now you have a clear line of attack. We finish this flirt, we get banana bread, fingerprint at statues. Uh,
Ambassador gets pushed away by wheels and then immediately passed to the exact same pad.
huh, that was weird. So it looks like we're trying to be timer flirting here. Despite the fact that we could end this game pretty quickly, we
Banana
are
bread.
being patient about it.
Interesting fake
Ooh,
contact here, and I
it's a,
actually
it's a
like it.
good, it's really good.
There's literally no one to low light, right? Unless you assume real, and if you assume real, you load the spy. So this is an insanely good contact from Rio here.
And if we didn't already have enough things going for us, Ambassador also helps us out by putting a fingerprint on another statue. This will be, we're doing specs first, but I'm sure Rio's going to this statue specifically because it has the fingerprint on it.
So what's
Here we
interesting
go.
here from Pox is Pox has moved into having his lights be for real contact at this point. So we don't actually pick up the highlight for going to statues here. We might
The
actually
second
get
banana bread is
shot
going to be
for the
really
second
confusing.
contact though.
I doubt
I
it.
no,
It's
I don't
so
know.
confusing. When you
No,
do an assume real. Oh no, small man.
this wasn't
Your
an
little legs
assume
back
real
here.
though. That's the thing. He just highlight everyone who was in for real contact, and when you see a second contact come off with someone who you know is at statues but wasn't in for the first real, that's actually a really big tell that that person might be the spy. And I
I
don't know how
almost would
much
have
Pox
liked
is
a
on top of
second
this.
banana bread to prep this banana bread. Just makes so much noise that this banana bread gets covered. We do want to hit this green.
Uh-oh.
Green. Oh, come on, small man. Come on.
Someone
We
goes
don't want to
over the
opt into
other.
bug.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. We
I'm so
that
on
that
Ryu's side in this situation because it's so painful. I've been in this situation too many times where the double agent just doesn't want to play the game with you.
Yeah, and actually, if Rio had contacted there, there goes a shot that doesn't come off on Teal.
Yeah.
However, shot does come
I
off
don't think
because
that
this
was
was someone who.
particularly a choice by Ryu. I think he'd rather have just done the banana bread with Smallman. But we get away with it. Any idea on Teal there?
It looks like just the real contact plus the statue visit plus perhaps maybe I missed a bug. This is a really good timing for a spy to finish at. Prompts the shot from Pox. We've seen Pox take a few shots that aren't necessarily exactly mission counting shots. But I perhaps Teal had fingerprints. I don't know.
Yeah, there were a lot of prints on statues. We do know that. We get and he's down. He's down 2-5. Courtyard is a map where it feels hard to get spy wins, but it is possible. And
Yeah.
we are a good character to do it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, we are good character to do it because we have a really strong bug, and bug is the best hardtail in the game. So it's so good that it
Yeah,
doesn't matter that the
I'd
sniper
agree with that.
knows it's just so good.
Especially on Courtyard. Because Purloin, you have the bad angle, the sniper in this on this map, and swap is obviously
Yeah,
questionable.
it's very easy to see the purloin, as you said. The very top, not quite top down, but very steep angle down to the guest list. So not hard to see. Fake contact here,
Banana bread.
Covering a
looking to
Purloin?
perhaps
Yeah.
cover a purloin.
Green Purloin. So we have two problems, and they're both related to Seek. One, it looks okay, and two, if Seek takes, and he does, he can't be the spy.
Yeah, this is a really big issue for Pox here, and looks like Rio knows this purloin's come off, and he's got a lot of low lights to say about it.
Yeah, so there are situations where we can get away with this. So Seek taking it means that the realization was delayed, Someone like Wheels, if he has him in his idea of the Purloin chain, would have had BB, Purloin, and Inspects. There's definitely outs here, but Pox got a bit unlucky there for sure.
Yeah, and the question is, if you run away from that, do you get a low light or stay a neutral light? Because it looked like a lot of Rio's lights were based on where someone wasn't a party.
Oh, never mind.
I called it.
I'm
I'm gonna give myself credit here. I think Wheels was in that conversation. He didn't have a full understanding of the Purloin in specs. He did BB, he did Purloin, and then he just has to shoot for a talk, which he does.
Yeah, and Pox gets away with that purloin that looked like it might have been, something that narrowed down the party really significantly, but gets away with a Civ shot instead, bringing up to 3 wins to Rio's 5 as we head into, I believe, Aquarium?
Yeah, we got
Yes.
Aquarium, and if they can keep it going, some Balcony. Aquarium being an interesting map, and we'll get into it here with Papa Danger.
Yeah, once again, Papa
Another king.
Danger. Showing up again for the third time.
Yeah, these boys are definitely picking their characters.
But only second time for Ryo as Papa Danger.
Yeah, but they're choosing good characters
Yep.
the whole way through. There's no boots here. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and something that I like to point out when we're at this 5-3 point, one player is up only essentially 1 win. However, they've broken serve once. However, that doesn't really matter because the player that's at 3 wins right now, to win the set, they have to go 4-0 in the next 4 games. There's no leeway if you want to win.
And given that he won the last one, it was actually 5 games. If Fox is going to win this whole thing, it would be.
Yeah, here comes an early contact.
It's bad, not bad.
I've seen better aquarium contacts. However, it was not bad for sure.
Of the conversations, there were 2 conversations. Our conversation had another conversation had the SDA, and the other conversation had the ambassador. And with the ambassador in conversation, taking like assume rails when someone's standing next to the ambassador, it might just be doing like a fake banana bread into bug as a bit of a 1-2 punch. Um, there wasn't much of a reaction. He just took the low lights, and they're
Yeah.
these guys are hitting a lot of greens, by the way. That's
Yeah,
another
greens are very
one.
ususeful.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
we
not
get
a
a white
green
test.
here.
Commentator curse, apologies. But we're now at 85, and we have a lot of options.
Yeah, a
I
lot
think
of
best case
options with two and
scenario
a
is
half minutes
ambassador
left.
comes to us right now. Oh,
Ambassador could
that's not
could
a bad
theoretically
option.
walk by us. Yeah. So from those statues, if the ambassador paths over to the front left of the venue, pretty much anywhere except for the statues at the front left, he will just walk us, giving us a nice reverse drive by. And it's especially potent on Kane because he holds his arms at his sides and not at his center. However, unfortunately for us, the ambassador does not quite go that way.
Yeah, he was trying to get to blue bookcase before Queen pushed him away. Aquarium gives you a lot of spare time, so timer flirts are not particularly detrimental as they are on somewhere like Gallery that we saw. Uh, Ambassador's been helping us do some late prints. We can do bar, we can do statues, and obviously the briefcase if need be. Uh, Preferably, I think you just like to do things behind the shark, though, especially at bug.
Yeah, question. Do you go to this left statue at the back and then immediately go to bar after swapping it and finish that way?
Okay, so the way I would typically end this game is I go get a fingerprint now, and then plan to end on that fingerprintable statue. Just assume that nobody's gonna touch it for the next like 2 minutes, and just get that fingerprint instead of rush to that fingerprintable statue and just eat all the suspicion. In this case, it would have been probably go grab the briefcase or the drink. I like cooking my fingerprints if that makes sense. Good terms, good. Here would make a lot more noise. Would really put the pressure to shoot queen, for example. And and we take out wheels, for example, but that's about it.
Yeah,
What if we just stand here and do nothing for the?
If we stand here and do nothing, we
might
are
work.
relying on a civilian shot. and I don't think that's great. I think we could also go swap behind where Wheels was and go like pretend like he did a green swap, or we could just stand here and do nothing. That's also an option.
Maybe he had a quick restroom break.
Okay, bug into swap here, or we can go to timeout window. It looks like we're just gonna wait the 8 seconds and try and do it the last. So hit green. This will allow us to do things like swap. There's nobody to like swap behind because
White test, and we
or we
don't
just
even
Yeah,
get the
he was too
watch
slow.
tech done in time.
You have to do it at like around the, fourth or third second to
yeah.
have it stick.
Generally, I'd say 3 seconds if it's a like phone or has to pull it out of their pocket. Then give it like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Rio, runs out of time, not able to make a green timeout happen to make it look like it's kind of pending. However, good shot held from Pox here, and it's the first in a series of games that Pox needs to bring it this back.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be happy to get it to 5-5, given you're down 5-2.
Oh,
Hawks on wheels.
big fan of Wheels on this venue.
I think wheels
He's
gets a
got
lot more value than he typically does on this map for sure.
he's got the perfect shark shark ducking frame.
Yeah, he's discount small man for sure.
Yep.
And we'll watch that in 3, 2, 1, playing it. AI control, rolling around. It's time for wheels. This is for a very small part of bar. I mean, this does happen. You've seen modern games where like 8 people are just stacked up like this, or high-rise paintings, a classic for it. But this is the cost. Everybody at the bar highlight because everybody at the bar is clearly flirting. Actually, is flirting.
Yeah, just being bounced up like that is a little bit suspicious for the sniper side. Looks like from Rio. Did everyone get let go to the bar get a highlight, or is it just because it looks like they're?
It
I
was
don't.
everyone got one.
It was
But
everyone.
that was all everybody though was the bunch. There was nobody separate, so we can't say yet if it's just
Yeah.
rote highlights.
With strategies like this, when you're changing up your highlight strategies, because sometimes you do it in bar lights, it does mean that you have to be a bit more practiced. That being said, it is week 10, week 11 games that we're talking about. These guys are at minimum practice from playing more spy party than just SCL.
All right. Well, we just
Yeah,
had Andrew Ryan get a drink and he didn't get a highlight, so it's likely a flirt suspicion.
yeah, that seems to be correct.
Banana bread here,
However, the
4
other people
highlights,
that were
no
at the bar with
furlong delegate.
us, other people at the bar with us now, like for example, Seek no longer have highlight, and now we no longer have it either. So it looks like it might have actually just been a bar highlight, brought back down after we can no longer delegate. As we see it expire just now.
Yeah, I think if we delegate there, we shortlist ourselves, and this game gets a lot harder to win, despite the fact that we get the mission. That was definitely intended to be a behind the back bug, and we flubbed it into a
Yeah,
banana bread.
no, we have a drink in our hand box. We can't actually do that.
And a highlight. This one for assume, and then neutral hits, but still keeps us for the split.
Oh no, this is pretty
This
unfortunate
is
here
good
from.
behavioral decision. And I'm because it's clearly right because we're casting green arrow syndrome. This flirt is not going to be as obvious, but it doesn't help that we're still like close to other people.
All right, let's see. I don't think that Rio likes this talk very much. Not gonna lie.
And the problem with Wheels in general, is that he's a bit shorter. That's also his perk. That things like the back statues, which is something I would definitely consider in this situation, is going to be worse. Wow. Okay, the purloin immediate shot.
Yeah, I think that for whatever reason, Rio was just all over us there as Pox, and unfortunately that means that Rio has taken it up to 6-4. The last set of games being on balcony means that Pox could bring it back, but just one more will mean Rio takes the series.
Yep. All right. right, here we go. I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay.
Here
In
we go.
3, 2, 1, planet.
And
Queen, we got flirts. Let's do our big flirt. No, we can instead
we
get
actually
the
we actually got
AI
AI
controlled
controlled
talk.
into the first talk, which is I think fine. The first talker is usually not that suspicious, especially since our ST is actually right next to us, and we do this two talk, and it doesn't ever look like anyone else was meant to talk. We just got the arrow twice in a row. We pick up the highlight anyways, though. Ryooo, not getting the benefit of the doubt from Poxier.
There's been a strong pattern of our players getting a 51% flirt to start and then getting a 35 on the second flirt. That being said, if I didn't just jinx it one more time, it would be really nice if we can get another.
And the end of
White
it.
does not help. I think we need to green the flirt.
Yeah, if we don't green this flirt, I think we just die as Ryooo.
We could also be patient. There is that 45-second rule for cooldowns.
Oh, we hit the
We're not
flirt.
patient. We're forcing him to shoot for 2 flirts. This could be
It
set.
doesn't look like there's gonna be any shot coming off from Pox here. That's gotta hurt because two flirts so hard to shoot for on balcony, even with the white
Yep.
contact. You just don't expect them to be done, especially since they haven't moved yet. And Ryooo takes the set with a balcony game, 7-4.